Valorant is removing Fracture and Pearl from the active duty map pool and replacing them with a brand new map and a completely reworked Breeze. And let's just say, some people really aren't happy. Much like CSGO and Siege, since they've had enough maps to facilitate it, Valorant has had an active duty map pool for competitive play. And last week, Riot announced on Twitter that both Pearl and Fracture were being removed as of Episode 7 Act 2, and that they'd be replaced by Lotus and a new and improved version of Breeze. These changes and Act 2's release will happen on Tuesday, August 29th, right after Champions concludes this weekend. Okay, so let's start with what's leaving. I think that it's pretty safe to say that the general consensus among competitive players and pro players is that they're pretty happy to get a reprieve from playing Pearl for a while. The Harbor Viper meta has made the map a slog to play for a long time, and especially at the pro level, it felt pretty solved. That said, I will say it's a little strange to make a change like this just a couple months after the alterations they made to the map and the nerfs they made to Viper. That really reduced the ubiquity of this composition. But it is possible that everyone is just so f***ing tired of Pearl that we all need a break. Now, on to Fracture. This is where things get controversial, because a ton of the community is frustrated by the fact that they chose to remove Fracture from the competitive game. Many pro players and coaches believe that Fracture is one of the most important maps for both pro play and for the competitive ladder. Some even went as far as to say that this map promotes agent diversity and gameplay diversity better than any other map in the game, which is actually pretty anecdotally true, right? You've got Evil Geniuses, considered the GOATs of Fracture, playing Sova on this map. You've got Breach, which is the standard, but then you've got teams like DRX who choose to play Fade instead. It does sometimes feel like this map is one that pro teams can actually get creative on. And speaking of EG, let's just say they weren't exactly stoked about this change either.
I just hope they don't add Icebox back and Breeze. Like, I have a love-hate relationship with Breeze, so it'll be fun to try it out, but sucks Fracture's gone.
But scattered amongst these tears for the loss of Fracture were some people comparing these choices to some of the other options for removal, Ascent and Haven in particular. These are two maps that have never left the competitive map pool and have been left largely unchanged by Riot. They truly are the standard for comp Valorant. That said, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't mind seeing them swapped out here or there, especially Ascent, which has the most ubiquitous professional team comp at Champions by a lot. People do seem to love it though, so I don't think it's going anywhere too soon. And finally, we've got the map that's coming back. I would say that actually the biggest news of this whole announcement were the sweeping changes they made to Breeze. Like, this map is totally new. They've completely changed all of mid, made it much less of an aim map, and made it much easier to creep up on the attack side and put pressure on the defenders. They also made significant changes to both bomb sites and halls, and Tarek and Kaede both addressed all the changes on stream the other day.
Whoa, this is so much better. I like this. Wow. No more halls? Oh my god, this is amazing! Oh my god, this is great. This is really good. I think this is good. That's an insane difference though.
It's kind of hard to say, but it's definitely very different. I'm just glad that Pearl and Fracture are leaving, honestly.
No matter where you land on these particular changes, I for one am stoked that Valorant has continued to make changes to cycle maps in and out of the game and been willing to go in and tweak the maps they've already designed. Like Tarek said, Breeze looks like a brand new f***ing map, and that is dope to me. Another hilarious part about this announcement for me was the cries from all over the community to bring back Icebox. A map that was once pretty universally hated is now being longed for, and not just by Fnatic fans. And as a box truther myself, I'm f***ing down for it. Another piece of news to discuss before we go is that apparently there's actually going to be a brand new map, allegedly called Sunset, unveiled this weekend on the Champions broadcast. Many in the community are pointing to these Valorant tweets as evidence that it's on its way. What do you think? Are you happy with no more Pearl and Fracture? Is Ascent boring? Is the box the best map in the game? Let me know in the comments. What I'll say about Icebox is I know that sometimes it can be boring to play in ranked. You know, it gets you a little bit of that seasonal depression. I think when you watch pro play, there's literally no better map. I think it's a good map for like watching people pop off, which I think, you know, is obviously an exciting part about the pro game. So